You are watching the SEC ACC Challenge presented by Continental Tire. And we get this thing started inside Stegman Coliseum in Athens, Georgia, where Notre Dame out of the ACC visits Georgia, off to a 7-1 start. Welcome.
And this is a roster that can get it done, but it's going to be a tough challenge on the road here in Athens.
And it'll be their third straight game without their prolific Rookie of the Year in the conference a year ago, Marcus Burton. So here we go, Notre Dame in the whites, Georgia in the red. Our officials, Pat Adams, Jeb Hartness, Todd Austin. And this is Micah Shrewsbury's son. It's Braden Shrewsbury, the sophomore, has his first bucket to get the Irish on the board. So, Richard, this is how Mike White will fill out the lineup card, if you will. So for a 9th straight game, it's the same unit. Newell leading the way, averaging better than 15 points per game, but shooting 56 per Shrewsbury, who hit the little leaner in the paint.
This is the pace that seems to kind of benefit Notre Dame. They want to work the ball around, and defensively, because they play this offensive style, they're used to long defensive possessions.
Tay Davis, that's good. Healthy place, it seems like, moving forward, especially once they get Marcus Burton back.
Absolutely. You talk about the pedigree with Brad Stevens, Matt Painter. He's known to be a culture guy.
Oh, how about the jam? Keba Jai with his first bucket.
To try to come up with victory. Not able to get it done, but he's been able to see that he has a roster of some players and some grit that can help them as the season moves forward.
Very close games. Last week they played 3 in that beautiful Vegas tournament. In the air, that's Keba Jai's first look from downtown. He's 2 of 5 from deep this year, so not really a noted three-point shooter. Notre Dame scored the first 6, and watch Georgia miss their first 9 shots. There is the LeFew, 40% from beyond the arc to start the season. He has been very effective. First-year Bulldog. Julian Roper turns the corner, doesn't look to shoot, out to Shrewsbury. Into the corner, this is Garrett Sundra.
These are the actions that are very...
Amount of production from a year ago. They are very happy to have retained Silas Demery. Let's see if he maybe takes a step forward. This is surreal with that long wingspan, stretches over the rookie. James offline on the 3.
I like the action that I'm seeing by both teams. You know, early on in the game, you want to make sure you're filling out your opponent. You're doing a good job executing your offense.
Oh, here's another takeaway by Demery, and he lays it up and in. So Georgia fell behind, deflected. A wild shot that time from the 6th-year senior Konstantinovsky. Georgia has it, looking to take its first lead of the evening.
Well, defensively, Georgia has a really nice roster with good guards, bigs who can protect the paint and
pass from the big. Shrewsbury back out to Sundra. Little indecision. Lawrence nearly got a piece of it. Shrewsbury wants 3. Here comes Georgia. This is Lawrence. Collects, goes up. That's good.
Need to stay in every game, and its formula's been working out very well so far.
It's a word we heard a lot, the depth. Coaching staff really lauds the depth. So after the Notre Dame miss, LeFew knocks down another. So Dakota LeFew has hit his first 2 triples. High-scoring all-conference playmaker, got hurt 3 minutes into that Rutgers game last Monday. Blue Cane goes to the rim, couldn't get it to go. Demery puts it back up and in.
Silas Demery once again doing all of the dirt down in holes, and they're able to get runs together and get back in it.
Alako offline, so Matt Alako now 0 of 3 from the floor. New 20, this is Tay Davis. Davis keeps the pivot foot, goes up and scores it. And so Notre Dame needed...
Well, he's a high-usage player, but within the offense, when they move it around, he's able to get so much respect that others get clean looks.
Roper absorbs the contact, Davis rather, and he's going to the line for 1 more.
These are 2 tough baskets.
At the line, trying to complete the and 1, and he does. Had 22 in that 11 point of 10 on the men's sides. Completed today, 6 more tomorrow, and then 16 women's games Wednesday through Thursday. It is a marathon, folks, so which league is going to claim bragging rights? Dakota LeFew, 7.
Defensive pressure from Georgia is extending the offense of Notre Dame. They have to get a little bit closer.
Davis does a really fine job of drawing fouls and getting to the free throw line, and so he's back there for a second time.
Solid screens and cut and they'll find themselves in better shooting position when they
figures. And so he really seems like a scoring offensive X factor. How big of a step will he take?
Take his man one-on-one. He can get physical and finish at the paint. So he is the player for Notre Dame that has what I like to say, go get it, when Burton is not on this roster.
Oh, Newell, two-hand stuff after R.J. Godfrey found the rookie.
Great unselfish play. Asa Newell finishing up top.
And so Georgia much more efficient the last 10 minutes on the offensive side than the first 5. They've got the 7-point lead, 5.5 to go in the first. Shrewsbury more aggressive this year, no longer just a perimeter. A Notre Dame team that brought back almost everybody from a year ago, 86% of their scoring. So Shrewsbury, that's Father Shrewsbury, continues to build the foundation. Newell now has back-to-back buckets.
Big play by Newell, jump hook to finish.
Georgia has owned the glass, especially on the offensive end, their first 8 games. Newell keeps the pivot foot.
Wow, gotta love that, getting on the offensive glass. Asa Newell using his body.
On the move. Silas Demery attacks. Oh, it just opened up for him there in the paint.
Yes. Demery once again, the ball pressure, forcing that turnover. Georgia, watch him in this half-court set, looking to execute with really good offense.
Georgia in control here the last 10-12 minutes of this game after the slow start. Newell with the hammer.
Wow. That was a dime on the baseline. I don't know how in the world he was able to see Asa Newell on the baseline. And the catch with one hand was impressive as well.
Keba Jai puts an end to the
last couple important possessions here for Notre Dame. If you can get bucket, stop, bucket to go into the half, you'll be in a good situation because you haven't been able to have the momentum going on the offensive end.
Who's going to step up? Maybe Davis. He's got 9 first-half points, now 11. Tay Davis, he has been a great.
Good basketball, as you mentioned, a lot of really good talented players. Last year in the ACC SEC Challenge, 7-7, a tie. So it's all about who can see that they can prove their conference dominant.
You know, I mean, you played an SEC Big East Challenge in the back of the day. Asa Newell, by the way, his role recruit in the latest class of 2024. That's the second highest in Athens. For 6 years as a youngster, his grandma actually worked in the HR department for the university here for several years. That's what had them in Athens. After the miss, Georgia can extend its lead with less than half a minute, maybe a 2.5-second differential between shot and game clock. The Bulldogs have a double-digit lead over Notre Dame.
Be organized in this long set, not to give the ball back to Notre Dame to allow them to get a look.
LaFew misfires for the first time from distance. 2 seconds. One dribble, a fling. Konechny hits the backboard, but that's it. So the Bulldogs, they start 0 of 9 from the floor. What's critical for the Irish now to get back into this game?
Well, they got to get back to being who they are, and that means that they're going to have to do a really good job of running their offense to precision, setting good screens, cutting hard, and having the proper spacing. If they cannot allow Georgia to push them off their marks, then they will get the freed up looks, but they also have to have the defense.
Yeah, just a blow bumper virtually for a 4th consecutive game. They are trying to put an end to the 4-game skid after a very difficult and challenging slate last week in Vegas. And so look at what Shrewsbury does here. He starts the freshman as part of the starting 5 here in the second. That's Garrett Sundra with his 2nd bucket.
He has the ability to space the court. He also has a little bit more size on the interior as they've switched things up from guard earlier on in the open.
Tyron Lawrence with his 2nd basket at 11, during double figures in his first year with Georgia. He's got the loose basketball here. Georgia on the move with eyes on extending the lead. Oh, killer crossover, bounce it to Godfrey, yes!
Beautiful recognition by Georgia. They're taking what the defense is giving them, not forcing the issue with anyone individually, sharing the ball right there. R.J. Godfrey once again on that beautiful pocket pass from Tyron Lawrence, able to knock down the mid-range J.
This has been clean basketball, really, outside of those first 5 minutes of the game for Georgia.
Notre Dame trying to get open on the baseline out of bounds.
Braden Shrewsbury, 4-3. So he knocks down the corner triple. That's hoop. Will they pick up another against the ACC?
Mark Pope has his team looking strong. Otega Oweh, big-time wing in the SEC.
Alaco 4-3 after the wild scramble. Lawrence and Demery marksman.
Now, if you're James, his ability to get to the cup will be something more beneficial. Don't want to settle for that. You have the size advantage.
Konstantinovsky got it to go, so he kept the pivot foot. And the Ukrainian has Notre Dame glass today. Samto Surreal. Look who's open again. LaFew instead puts it on the deck, rises and hits the leaner.
It's a good recognition right there by the coach.
For Notre Dame, they need to capitalize, down 9.
It's a big possession right here.
Manalaco into the paint. Konstantinovsky keeps the pivot foot, goes up and puts it in.
Position down low. Here he is now, trying to finish off the three-point play.
Konstantinovsky last year, his best season. Surreal starting to plan the attack, thinks otherwise. LaFew with 2 to shoot. That's a tough one, left it short. Alaco on the go for Notre Dame. Eyes up, Alaco got it. 4-point game.
Great recognition there by Alaco. Had a seam, getting that ball off the carom, takes it all the way to the cup. 4-point ball game.
All of a sudden, Georgia staggering after, look at that, a 15-2 Notre Dame run. They have been relentless. LaFew, 4-3, a nice response.
Bad route right there by Tay Davis.
Alaco looking for the contact. Surreal rips it away from the Ukrainian. So here comes Georgia. Demery waving his arm. Demery using the big man as the screen, flobs it up. Surreal blocked by Sundra, but they call a foul on the freshman.
Ty can obviously make the 12-team field, but it's going to be a tough stretch. As you see, they were able. It's going to be fun to watch, see how it all is sorted out.
Why didn't we do this 12-team playoff thing much sooner? That's what I would like to know. In Athens, where, as you saw, the Gridiron Bulldogs, they're going to play for that SEC title in a few days. The Bulldogs are the hardwood side. It is a 3-day sprint. And these are first slate of games here on Tuesday night. Who's going to take the early advantage? Davis has it back to Ace. Have done a good job of defending without fouling. Both of their coaches have lauded that to this point. Georgia, 33% from the floor in the second half. Notre Dame right around 50%. There's a high percentage look. Davis, little wild layup. And so Georgia's on the move now. Davis trying to hustle back.
Both of these teams are at their best when the ball is moving.
Demery wide open, nails the 3. And cut it back to a 6-point game just a few minutes ago. With 7.5 to go, the Irish need some stops. LaFew offline that time. Look at Newell with that long reach just taken away from the Irish. Matchups on Thursday. So Georgia, again, they've got it on the women's side right now. And many of them are a little tilted one way or the other. Here in Athens, Georgia with the 12-point cushion. And they have maintained a double-digit lead for the majority of this second half. They've been up really since about the 15-minute mark of the first half. There's a foul.
Same time, the strength of this Notre Dame team is going to be within the ball movement. Get out for the threes or get easy baskets. Notre Dame has to keep the ball out of the paint.
Efficient shooting day for Georgia, really from start to finish. LeFew, another, and he's gotten a little cold here after hitting his first three. Demery rises and puts...
Trying to extend their lead.
Lawrence bounces it to Newell, goes up with the right and pinballs out. Relentless underneath, and Georgia's lead is ballooned.
Once again, another pocket pass, getting that into Newell, but Newell with the second action, putting that one back in on the putback.
Late shot clock offense for Notre Dame. Shrewsbury's going to have to create. Contested triple, banks it in.
Now this might be
significant one for both of these teams. Sundra and Shrewsbury, they get the switch. Shrewsbury taking Godfrey off the bounce to the cup. He's got it.
Back to back.
Tyron Lawrence bounces in, lob it up to Newell. They could not convert. Another chance. Newell blocked. No, he's fouled. So Asa Newell, the relentless 6'11" big man, is going back to the free. You've lauded, right, for in regards to Georgia at times today. It's been the ball movement. You saw the physicality from Demery basically taking it away from the Notre Dame guard right there.
Time out on the baseline out of bounds. These are critical moments for teams. You have to understand when you're trying to inbound the ball. Look, Asa Newell not able to finish the dunk, but that's what you want to look for coming after timeouts. What are the teams going to do offensively and defensively to gain an advantage?
Richard, Newell right at his season average, 16 points per game. He's got 16 tonight, plus the 8 rebounds. Been so active around the rim.
A switch of defense for Notre Dame is going to have to pick up. They've had some success when they jump in.
This has been a gauntlet of a stretch for Notre Dame. Again, they're playing virtually their 4th consecutive game without their all-conference playmaker and leading scorer Marcus Burton. And it's been 4 games, Richard, against really difficult competition. Newell spins and scores it off the window.
Work the ball around, shoot at the end, under 5 on every set possession.
What have you made of Asa Newell today? There's LeFew with the leaner.
First off, the way that he moves, it's a reason why you see there's several professional scouts in the game checking out what he can do.
Yeah.
The way he moves on the court with his fluidity, he can guard multiple positions. He can rebound and finish well in the paint.
A portion of his childhood living in Athens, so you know, when he signed here, he goes, boy, it's nice to be home. I don't know if home, like you said, is going to be longer than perhaps a couple of semesters. He's certainly looked at as a lottery pick. Couple of exclamation points now. The lead is 17, and Georgia is definitely en route to the league's first victory in this challenge.
And that was an excellent example as R.J. Godfrey threw down the hammer, but
much more efficient overall on both ends of the floor in this second half.
Now, if you're Mike White, Dame a little bit short-handed, but this is a program with Notre Dame that has been battling and giving teams really good matchups all season long. So if you're Georgia, you see how your team can compete, how they can handle adversity, and that they're growing, sharing the basketball. They're putting the rest of the SEC on notice.
15 years. So this is going to be the first game, Richard, that's going to go in the books, and the SEC is officially going to take a 1-0 lead. There's still several other games that are about to go final across our ESPN networks, and we have got many more to come tonight, tomorrow. The women's tournament starts tomorrow at 5. Newell looking for another basket, just relentless. He's got a 20-point game
and a double-double.
Seconds.
And a double-double to boot. It's what you want to see from Georgia. A phenomenal finish. That was exactly how the game was. Effort from start to finish. They weathered the storm and did an outstanding job.
Georgia gets the SEC its first victory of this challenge. They're now 8-1. And more importantly for the Dogs fans, their best start in 18 years.